Our last chapter is on blood types. So basically, we're using the statistics behind how many people have different blood types to look at how we can combine this with our probability unit. So a person's blood type can be described by different letters, generally all within A, B, and O. Now, the probability that each person has a different blood type also depends on who you can donate to and who you can receive blood from. Okay, so the blood type of Australians is kind of listed in this graph here. We'll see that a lot of people are O positive. I think I'm in this B positive category. And then there are just a bunch of other listed there. Okay, so what we're doing is we are going to come up with some probability questions relating to blood type. So the table opposite here shows a number of males and females living in New South Wales. Use the above column graph and this table to answer these questions. So we're looking at the previous table before and also this one. So how many males in New South Wales have a blood type of B? Now, what we know is across the population, the blood type B positive is 8%. If we know that there are 3.8 million males, then we're assuming that 8% of them have the blood type B positive. So we're going to times 8 by 3.8, 8%, right? Remember to add the percentage button in. And that number we get is 0.304. Now, earlier before we talked about this in the millions. So 0.304 million is the same as 304,000 people. Okay, and so that's how we're going to write our answer, like so. On the flip side, we are looking at how many females in New South Wales have the blood type O negative. So in the data on the previous page, it says that 9% times 3.9 million people, and that's going to give us 0.351 mil, and that's the same as 351,000 people. Okay, in our last example, we're looking at how many people have A+, so 31%. We don't care whether they're male or female, so we're going to times it by 7.7 million, and then when we type in 7.7 times 31%, we get 2.387 million people. All right. Our next example is on blood compatibility. Now, this is kind of what we mentioned before, where not everyone can donate blood, and not everyone can receive someone's donated blood. But yeah, let's have a look at the table to see who can donate it and who can receive it. So basically, how this table works is, for example, these are the donors, these are the receivers, so we can only see that O negative people can receive from O negative. However, if you're an AB positive, it means you can receive from everyone, but also if you donate it, you can only donate it to another AB positive person. All right, so there are obviously some restrictions with being compatible with different patients' bloods. So the donor blood types that are compatible with a patient following the blood type A negative. So A negative can receive from O negative, can also receive from A negative people. AB negative people can receive from O negative, can receive from B negative, and also A negative people and AB negative as well. A positive people can receive from these four types of people: O negative, O positive, A negative, and A positive. AB positive people can receive from all. Okay. B negative people can only receive from O negative and B negative people themselves. O negative people can also just receive from O negatives. B positives can receive from O positive negative and B positive negative. And O positive people can also just receive from O positive and negative. So if we kind of are having a look at this table, we can see that O people can donate to anyone, but only AB people can donate to other ABs. So if an AB positive person needs blood, they'll probably be using this rather than that, because this is more in demand. All right. So yeah, if you've ever donated blood before, they've sometimes asked you to come back because your blood is important, or they don't really need you to keep coming in. Okay, so the donor blood that is compatible with every patient's blood type is O negative. Donor blood types compatible with 4 patients' blood types. Okay, so we're going to look at this column and see which ones are compatible with 4. All right, and so that's O positive here, B negative there, and A negative. All right, which patient's blood type is compatible with every donor's blood type? That's the AB positive people. Which patient's blood type is only compatible with O negative? That's our other O negative person. And which patient's blood type is compatible with B positive? So we've got the 2 AB positives and also the B positive people. All right, so we're on to our last slide and our last question for the booklet. In Australia, there are 550,686 blood donors making 1.3 million blood donations per year. Okay, so what we're looking at is the average of blood donations per blood donor. So what we know is if there are these many donors making these many donations, so let's just use easier numbers. Let's say there were 2 blood donors and they were making 4 donations, that we know that how many donations that are happening is this number divided by this number. So what we're going to do is 1.3 million, okay, divided by 550,686, and each of them is making roughly 2.36 donations a year. Answer to 1 correct decimal place, we just say 2.4 donations. If we're going on to the next question, Australia's population is predicted to increase by 2% next year. How many people are expected to give blood if the donation rate remains the same? So, we know that the increase is going to be of 2%. So if right now we have 550,686 donors and we're going to increase something by 2%, what we do is we times that by 102%. The reason we do that is if we work out 2% and then add it back in, that would be the same as timesing it by 102%. So let's do that now in our calculators and we get 561,699.7. We're going to round that out. So 561,700 donors. Okay, so the demand for blood product is predicted to double in the next 10 years. How many blood donors are required if the donation rate remains the same? So what we know is at the moment there are 550,686 donors. And what we'll do is if the donation rate doubles, then the blood donors should double as well. And so we're going to double this number, 550,678 times 2, 110,1372. So that's the number, 1,101,000 people should be donating. Now, to answer our last question, each donation can be separated into red cell, platelets, plasma, given to 3 different patients, leading to the saying that 1 donation saves 3 lives. Is this true? How many lives are saved by blood donors each year? So, if there are currently 550,686 number of people, 550,686, and each of them save 3 lives a year, so that is 1,652,058 lives saved in total. I guess that's how many lives are saved. Does this number seem believable? If we kind of just look back at New South Wales population, that's saying like a third of New South Wales population are being saved by blood donations each year. It's not really that believable, but I feel like the slogan's still pretty nice to say, especially if you are a blood donor, just to make you feel a bit better. Alright, and that's the end of our chapter. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, get cracking.